So you're thinking of moving to Marana, Arizona, but you kind of want to know the good, the bad, and everything in between before you do? Well, stick around because that's exactly what we're going to cover in this video. We'll go through the pros and cons of living in Marana. And at the end of the video, if you hang around, we'll even tell you about a couple things that we think you should check out in the area. If you're new to this channel and you want to learn everything from A to Z about living in Tucson, AZ, then click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, I'm Jennifer Smith, and my husband Dustin and I have helped hundreds of people just like you move to and from Tucson, Arizona. So whether you're moving in 12 days, 12 weeks, or 12 months, give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. We've got you covered. Let us help you make a smooth move to Tucson, Arizona. All right, so as I mentioned, we are out in Marana to talk about the good, the bad, and everything in between. First off, where is Marana? So Marana is located just northwest of Tucson, and it's actually quite large, and it's split right down the middle almost by our one main freeway, which is I-10. And so you'll have part of Marana over on the west side of I-10 and part of it on the east side. So on the west side of I-10, you're really going to have your areas that are more like your Continental Ranch, your Gladden Farms, and this area overall is a little more rural. A lot of farms in the area. You could see cotton and all of that in some of the videos. And then on the east side of I-10, you start getting into more of like your Dove Mountain and luxury area over there. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And the median home price in the area is just over $400,000. So getting into our first pro, I would say for the Marana area, is that you can find a lot of great affordable homes starting in the $300,000 range when you're in areas like Gladden Farms, Continental Ranch, San Lucas, and then you can also get up into the multi-million-dollar range with the luxury properties as you get into Dove Mountain and Saguaro Canyon and just some of the Canyon Pass area. So it's really just a diverse mix of homes in the area, and you can go from your tract homes into your semi-custom and custom homes as well. Another pro for the area is the proximity to Phoenix. So most of the areas in Tucson, you're gonna spend about 2 to 2.5 hours driving up to Phoenix. A lot of people like to go to Phoenix. They're either commuting for work or just because there's a little bit more to do, bigger city than Tucson is overall. There's a lot of great attractions up there that unfortunately we don't have in Tucson, at least as of right now. So Marana, on the other hand, is about an hour and a half drive to Phoenix, depending on where in Phoenix you're going to, but it's going to be a lot closer because it is on the furthest northwest part of Tucson. Another pro for the Marana area is the amount of indoor and outdoor activities. So unlike some of the other areas in Tucson, there are quite a few indoor activities to do in the area. So you'll have your outdoor, you'll have some skydiving in the area, you'll have your hiking. Wild Burro Trail is one of our favorites to check out. Horseback riding. You're close to Saguaro National Park West. You're close to Old Tucson Studios, the Sonoran Desert Museum, which is about 30 minutes away. So, within 30 minutes, and some areas of Marana within 15 minutes, you'll have just a lot of activities to do. And then they also have a lot of community activities. So we like to go every year to the pumpkin patch, and it's a whole festival. Usually a couple of the days they also have a sunflower festival, so you can go and you can cut some fresh sunflowers, which is always really nice. And then they have a lot of rides and activities for the kids as well. For Christmas time, they have the annual tree lighting. Overall, I think even for July, they have the big fireworks still. So overall, they just have a lot to do community-wise and just in the area. So you'll find yourself traveling to Marana sometimes if you live in other places in Tucson just to come check out those activities. All right, so another pro for the area that I want to talk about is just the overall growth. Because it's one of the few areas in Tucson that does have a lot of land still available, because it's, a rural area with a lot of farms and just kind of just open flat land. Developers have picked up large amounts of land in the area and built a lot of new communities. There's a lot of commercial development going on. So just the growth in general in this area, it's more than almost doubled in size since 2010. So that in itself is pretty amazing. Now, with all that growth comes some great employment opportunities, which I would say is another pro for the area. Out here we have the Ritz-Carlton, we have the Marana School District, we have Sargent Aerospace. So there's just, between all the restaurants, dining, entertainment that they've put in the area, medical, you just have a lot of options when it comes to employment, which is always great. It's also close proximity to I-10. So if you do need to commute to work to say, Phoenix or Casa Grande, or, even on the other side of Tucson, it's not quite as bad unless there is an accident on the freeway, because that's our one major freeway. But other than that, since it is that close proximity, you're not traveling through all the surface streets and having to hit stoplights. You can just hit I-10, and as long as traffic is moving, then it's a pretty smooth ride. Going along with that growth, just want to touch on, restaurants and shopping in the area as well, because I think that's a really great pro for the Marana area. We do have the premium outlet mall, which is great if you want to go check it out, go shopping. And then there's a lot of options for, dining and entertainment in the area. If you're out in this area, make sure you check out Little Abner Steakhouse. It's an experience. All right, so let's flip over to the cons for the area. Of course, there's not just all good, unfortunately. There's a couple things that we do want to make sure that we cover that we would consider cons. And, some of our clients have told us about that they consider cons for the area as well. So the first one I would say is because it's such an open area, very flat land, you don't have the mountains as close by. We do get a lot of dust storms out here, or as we call them, haboobs, which I know it's a funny word. Look it up. It's just, big dust storms that we get in the area. Another con for the area would be the commute time. So just because Marana is so large and spread out, from one side to the other, you could spend 20 to 30 minutes driving. But also if you're going downtown or to the airport or Davis-Monthan Air Force Base or Central Tucson, Raytheon, any of those places, you're going to have a commute anywhere from 30 to even 50 minutes. And if you've watched any of our other videos, one of our favorite places to cool down, because it does get so hot, especially in Marana, is Mount Lemmon. And unfortunately, that's going to be closer to a 2-hour drive, depending on where you're at in Marana. So I would definitely put that on the cons list, even though you're close to the freeway, the main freeway here, I-10. Overall, it's just, quite a commute to go anywhere. Now, on the plus side of that, there's so much to do in Marana, you may not need to leave. Another con for the area is the construction. So if you don't like construction, Marana might not be the place for you. Granted, there is construction all over Tucson, but right now Marana has just grown so much in the last 10 years and is continuing to grow so much that there's a lot of construction in the area. There's also been a lot of construction on I-10, and a lot of the places that you would want to commute to from Marana, you do have to take I-10. So there's a lot of closures that have been along I-10 as they're widening it and making changes. So that could be, another hold up for you as well. If that's not something that you're looking for, then we may want to explore some other options around the Tucson area. But come out here, come check out Marana and see, maybe for you, the construction's really not that bad. It doesn't bother me, but I'm just kind of happy to see that Tucson is overall just expanding and growing. And one of the last cons I'll talk about is just according to niche.com and greatschools.org, Marana Unified School District is not ranked as one of the higher school districts in the Tucson area. So definitely something to check out. I mean, we have a lot of friends in the area that love the school district here. So make sure that you do your research. There's some great schools out here that do offer trades and all of that. So something to look into if that's one of your concerns. But I would definitely throw that on the cons list just because it's not our in our top ranking school districts, at least according to our resources that we recommend to our clients. All right, thanks for sticking with us till the end of the video. As promised, if you're in the area, some of the things we think you should check out. If you like golf, you'll want to check out the gallery and the highlands. If you're an avid hiker, we highly recommend Wild Burro Trail, just over 7 miles, but definitely worth it. If you have been thinking about getting into horseback riding, want to check it out, or maybe you've been before or want to go again, we recommend Way Out West Ranch. And last but certainly not least, because it's one of our favorites, is the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum. Now, I do recommend checking it out during some of our cooler months here in Tucson because most of it is outside and it does get pretty hot. So I won't spoil any more of that for you. If you have any comments about Marana or Tucson or any other videos you would like to see, make sure that you drop them below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you or anyone you know is looking to move to or from Tucson, Arizona, give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. We would love to help. And if you could give us a like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications, we'll keep you updated on the current market in Tucson, Arizona. We'll catch you on the next video.